All right, let's talk about something that's a real pain for small breweries. You're growing, you're looking to expand, and then you hit this wall. How on earth do you price your beer for out-of-state distribution without completely tanking your margins? Well, today, we're going to break that down. I've got a clear strategy and a simple tool that'll help you get it right.
So let's just jump right in with the question that probably keeps a lot of us up at night. You land a fantastic new account a few states away. You're stoked, but then you see the freight bill. And you start to wonder, am I actually making any money on this deal? And that's the tough reality, isn't it? For breweries our size, logistics can be a silent profit killer. The farther your beer has to travel, the more those sneaky costs add up. An account that looks amazing on paper can turn into a money pit before you even know it.
Okay, moving on, because it's not just about shipping. The other big challenge is nailing the actual price. Getting it close enough might sound okay, but it can cost you way more than you think. The price sensitivity here is, well, it's pretty wild.
Just look at this. This is the real-world impact. Bumping your wholesale price from $1.55 to just $1.58 a barrel. That's it. A tiny $3 change caused sales to drop from 5 barrels a week all the way down to 4.2. That is a massive hit to your volume for a seemingly tiny price increase.
To put that another way, a little 2% price hike can cause a 17% drop in volume. It really shows you just how delicate this balancing act is. You gotta remember, your price isn't just a number, it's a signal to your distributor about how fast that beer is gonna move.
So, you might be thinking, great, so how do I even find a starting point in a brand new market? Well, the good news is you don't have to just guess and hope for the best. There's actually a really simple and effective formula you can use.
Here it is. It's 3 steps. First, you take your cost of goods sold, everything it costs to actually make the beer, and you add your per barrel shipping cost for that specific place. Then you multiply that number by 1 plus whatever margin you want to hit. And the last step, and this is absolutely crucial, you take that final number and see how it stacks up against the local guys. Let's look at a quick example. Say you're shipping to the Midwest. Your COGS are $90, shipping is $25. That gives you a landed cost of $115. You want a 35% margin, so you apply that and bam, your target wholesale price is $155.25. Now, this isn't necessarily your final price, but it's a solid data-backed place to start the conversation.
Now, a quick but important point on shipping costs. They're not all the same. You might have a flat rate per pallet, where your cost per barrel goes down the more you ship, or you might have a variable rate, which is just a set cost per barrel. Knowing exactly which one you're dealing with is key to making sure that margin is protected.
And here's why that matters so much. With a $200 flat rate, shipping 10 barrels costs you $20 a barrel. But if you can stuff that pallet and ship 25 barrels, your cost plummets to just $8 a barrel. That is a huge saving that goes directly to your bottom line. Okay, so having a formula is great, but how do you actually keep track of all this stuff across dozens of different accounts without going completely insane? Well, this is where having a simple, actionable tool is, well, it's essential to see what's really going on.
I actually want to share something that's been a total game changer for me. It's a simple spreadsheet I put together called the Sales Velocity Tracker, and it's designed specifically for breweries like ours to help cut through all the noise and just get some clarity on how things are actually performing out there.
And this thing does way more than just track sales. It automatically crunches the numbers on that all-important sales velocity for every single one of your accounts. It'll show you which accounts are truly your most profitable, after you factor in shipping. It even ranks them for you, so you know exactly where you should be focusing your time and energy. And here's just a little peek at what that looks like. You just pop in your shipment info and it instantly calculates the net revenue for that order. That's your real profit. The money you're actually banking after all those logistics costs are stripped away. No more guesswork. Honestly, the best part is that it does all the heavy lifting. The velocity, the net revenue, the rankings, it's all automatic. And that frees you up to stop drowning in data and start making smarter, more strategic decisions about where you sell your beer.
So how does all this come together? Well, by using this data, you can finally start to zero in on your pricing sweet spot, that perfect balance between making a healthy margin and keeping a high sales velocity.
At the end of the day, it's all about this balancing act. You price your beer too high, and it just sits on a shelf collecting dust. You price it too low, and you're basically working for free, just leaving money on a table with every single keg you sell.
And hey, don't forget, adjusting your price isn't the only move you have. You can protect those margins by always shipping full pallets.
offering smaller, high-margin formats like sixtels for your special releases, or even teaming up with another brewery nearby to share freight costs on a long haul. Ultimately, this is the goal right here. You're searching for that perfect price that's high enough to fuel your growth, but low enough to make sure your beer is always visible and always moving. Sustainable profit, it comes from that constant flow.
So I'll leave you with this question to get you started. Now that you have this framework and you know there's a simple way to track everything, which of your accounts are you going to plug in and analyze first? Go find your biggest winner, or maybe even your biggest loser. That's the very first step to really taking control of your profitability.